It's over, guys. Show's over. It's a wrap. That's it. Ripple's going to do an IPO. XRP is going to go to zero. It's just going to disappear. It's not going to be worth anything. I think also Bitcoin is going to go to zero because Bitmain is about to do an IPO as well. And that's the end of it, guys. The show's over. This is the end of it. I'm going to dump all my crypto. Just kidding. This is the FUD that's been going around. People hear the news about Brad Garlinghouse talking about Ripple may do an IPO in 12 months. He spoke about this at Davos. Brad Garlinghouse being the CEO at Ripple, of course. And the FUD has been going around. I'm seeing even some other YouTubers spreading FUD. These XRP holders are going to get dumped on because Ripple's going to do an IPO. Put your business thinking cap on, not just your maximalism about different coins. This requires logic. It requires common sense and thinking. So Ripple as a company is looking to build a utility, use cases, and ecosystem around XRP. This has been going on for years now. The facts are out there. I've covered it on this channel. They've, of course, used the money they've raised. Recently, they raised like a $200 million Series C funding, which put their valuation at $10 billion. That money they raised go towards their operations and their marketing and building relationships and buying MoneyGram and things like that, right? They're building the partnerships and so forth. They sell some XRP. They've been transparent with that with their quarterly reports, and they're ramping down on that. Notice when they raise more money, they've ramped down on the sales of XRP. Keep that in mind because as they do a IPO, guess what? They're going to raise money publicly and they won't have to depend on the sale of XRP, which they've used traditionally to fund the growth of the ecosystem through Spring, through getting different types of companies launched off the ground, startups, so they can use XRP in their ecosystems and marketplaces. These are the facts. You can look it up yourselves. I've covered it on this channel. They've invested in different companies, right? We've talked about it. In gaming platforms, trying to get them to use XRP for micropayments, obviously the MoneyGram deal and some others. So this is what the plan is, guys. That's what they're attempting to do. And if they can bring in the funds in another way to build the ecosystem with XRP, XRP is going to benefit, of course, with the building out of the ecosystem. We know this. But I just want to address the FUD because there's a lot of people scrambling and really going crazy. Now, I tweeted about this. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. To the people freaking out about the future of the Ripple IPO and the impact on XRP, are you also freaking out about Bitmain that is going to do an IPO, which is like one of the largest Bitcoin mining companies? They're planning to do an IPO here. They filed with the SEC, right? And they control sometimes very much over 51% of the hash rate. And we know they're a big part of the Chinese mining farm and so forth, guys. So are you concerned about this? That Bitcoin's going to go down to zero and get dumped on because Bitmain is doing an IPO? No, it's a natural evolution of the company. It is separated from what the asset is. So the same situation, Bitmain and Bitcoin, two separate things. One is the company that's running and building and running the network, and the other is the asset itself. Same thing here with Ripple. Now, what's great about it is they're more decentralized than when they first started because they've distributed the XRP across the board. They of course have the validators, right, on the XRP ledger, so nobody can stop a payment or stop a transaction. So it's a very similar setup here. So there's no concern that if they go public that this is going to be negative for XRP. It's actually going to be positive because once again, more money, more funds and resources to power the ecosystem, to build the ecosystem. And you have to look at this holistically, not just with tunnel vision, because when you see what they're doing with different banks and payment service providers with trying to build a utility, the asset itself, XRP, will of course rise in value over time. We know R3 is part of it. We know SBI is part of it. You guys know this. Don't listen to the FUD and the haters. Shout out to the user Thomas here, who really, I think he articulated it well. He says XRP panic is over. XRP panic is in over the IPO issue. The IPO is completely separate. The question you need to ask is the value of XRP as a use case, not that an IPO means to, not what an IPO means to Ripple. There must be something serious under the hood for 10 billion evaluation in IPO. This involves XRP. Think before you dump. Michael Arrington, well-known Silicon Valley guy, founder of TechCrunch and so forth, founder of Arrington XRP Capital, which is denominated in XRP, says disregard FUD around a Ripple IPO. It's healthy and awesome if when it happens. Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse hints firm may seek IPO within 12 months. Now, when they do their IPO, will I get some Ripple stock? I certainly will. This is not financial or investment advice, because I see them as the next Google, right? Not that they're targeting search marketing or search engines or Amazon, but they are they're a disruptor, and I want to be on that train when they take off and become, the payments powerhouse, guys. The same way Google is for search, the same way Amazon is for online shopping. That is my thought process, and like I said, Bitmain is going to do the same thing here. They're going to go public, and they control a ton of the hash rate, guys. This is just business. And it's a unique setup moving forward, because you have a digital asset or a crypto tied to these companies, which is groundbreaking. So we'll see how this all plays out. But like I said, from a business standpoint, the Ripple IPO brings in cash, meaning they don't have to sell XRP, and they can use that cash to build an ecosystem for the utility and growth of XRP. Now, they still own a significant amount, so that's actually good for them. They don't have to sell anymore. They can, they'll be worth a lot of money, guys, trillions, when this thing takes off. Finally, guys, I want to let you know that a lot of governments and countries now on board with central bank digital currencies. Japanese lawmakers will propose digital yen to counter Libra. So every country's getting on board, and remember what's going to be the bridge asset, the bridge currency. We saw it in the World Economic Forum report, which I shared with you guys a day ago. XRP highlighted as the solution for CBDCs and inter and intra-bank payments. This is from the World Economic Forum. So I'm bullish on XRP. I'm not dumping my XRP. I'm not dumping my Bitcoin. I have Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and some others. My top 3 is XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as mentioned. So guys, what do you think about this? I know there's a lot of FUD going around. I hope I addressed it, and you guys see the business aspect of this and where we're going. I would love to hear what you guys think, and leave your thoughts and comments below. Please share this video if you found it helpful. I'll talk to you guys later.